Good morning. It's January 10th, 2009, Colorado Springs. I'm Ken Long. I'm going to describe in 5 minutes a technique for improving teaching practice that incorporates the idea of voice, which we're going to define as participants in a classroom shaping the environment of the classroom and future classes through structured feedback. We're going to do that by asking 4 questions at the end of the class. What was the most effective part of the class? What was the least effective? What was the biggest unanswered question at the end of the course? And what was your best takeaway? The setting is a 2-hour session at a doctoral residency with 12 doctoral students, facilitated by 1 professor with a background in action research. It's an informal session where we're going to check in with students on their research question as is, and then provide critical feedback, brainstorming and networking to help them refine their concept. At the end of the 2-hour session, we asked those 4 questions, and we collected informal quick writing, and then we had a practitioner informally code these according to an emerging ontology of categories. Break that into a quad chart where we're going to report out the best part, the worst part, the best resource or takeaway, and then their frequently asked questions. And when we tabulate the data, we come up with typically interesting results in the following way. Some of the things that were the best parts for some people were the biggest unanswered questions for other people. For example, 8 people loved the fact that we had informal dialogue, networking, and brainstorming. 3 people found that to be overly formal and too wordy. 1 person thought that the use of the visual aids on the whiteboard was the best part of the class. 2 people said that there were not enough visuals available to help articulate the ideas. 2 people found that the information on how to refine a research question was the best part of the class. 6 people thought that picking and refining a research question was their biggest unanswered question. 3 people thought that the distinction between dissertations and 4 papers and how to choose was the best part of the class. 2 people had that as their biggest unanswered question, how to choose between a dissertation and 4 papers. 2 people thought their best takeaway was how to plan a dissertation over 3 years. For 4 people, that was their biggest unanswered question, how to plan it and then get it started. This is a not unusual experience in a class of a dozen people, where certain things work for certain people based where they are on the wheel of life and their karma and their learning styles. And so for an instructor or a teacher or a facilitator, the important thing to observe from this is the great variety in what works for some people and for others. I, as an instructor, think that I know what was working best, but that's typically colored by my perceptions of what I thought really worked for me. And I'm unable to anticipate what really works the best for others or what their biggest unanswered questions are unless I just ask them the 4 questions and then use that feedback in the following way. Having classified it and taken a look at the distribution, I can then come over here and have a plan of action, some things that I want to do personally to improve my practice and the creation of a learning environment in the classroom that's consistent with the purpose of the session. And there may be some programmatic things that I want to do, such as taking a list of the frequently answered questions, putting together a resource list, and distributing that to everybody, and using that in the future for the preparation phase for other people that are going to take this session, so that we can anticipate their questions. I can take a look at the things that really work well and refine those in the future and maybe make that an explicit part of the session. And I can find the things that didn't work very well and try to determine if that was a systemic problem or if that was in the nature of a problem for a particular person, and then I can investigate that in greater detail, that person, if I have an ongoing relationship with them. So in conclusion, what we have right here is a technique that can improve our use of feedback, structured feedback, in a quick way to help us shape our own personal practice as facilitators and to make programmatic improvements for future classes of this type and in our ongoing relationship with our students. So thanks for your attention. If you're interested in more information, you can get a hold of me at the following email address, longke@yahoo.com. Thanks for your time. Red button.